Hey guys, and welcome back to Drewtopia. I'm finally going to finish that Anvil project we started a while back. And so I finally got some new grinding disc, and I just go ahead and slap one on there. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut off that bottom bit. I just want to get that flange off so I can actually get some access room to cut off the top. And it was very satisfying when I got it cut through, and I just smacked it and it came straight off. It was just like, yes, finally actually getting some progress with this thing. So I just start hitting up the top part, and same thing, only this time, hammer time. Just a couple whacks and it's straight off. So I'm just going to cut and break this stuff. Just cut, break it, cut it, break it. It was very satisfying watching those pieces just fall off. When I finally get all the big pieces off, I do cut a couple small. And after I finish all that cutting off, I finally pull out the grinding disc, and I'm just grinding that, getting that horn into shape. It was actually kind of fun doing this. I mean, you're making tons of sparks. Of course, it's going to be fun. But I finally get that done, and I gotta say, it looks amazing. Like, I am very, very satisfied with what I did. I mean, after all, I've never made an Anvil before. But it was just very, very satisfying. I'm glad I got it done. So after I finally finish getting all that grinding done and everything like that, I decided I need to put about 4 holes in it just to secure it to my base. We'll look at that in a second. But I will say, if I was to do this again, I probably would just like take a railroad spike and just spike it in there and make it look even better. I do have a couple railroad spikes I could do that later on, but I probably won't because it's not really going to gain anything. I really want to secure it to that base so it wouldn't bounce or anything like that. So to get my base, what I did, my neighbor had a tree cut down a while ago, and I was like, hey, I'll take the wood and put it in my backyard. They just put it in my backyard. So I went back to the backyard and grabbed a couple of these big old stump pieces, and I just throw them in a lawnmower and just drive them up that way. Is it the safest way? No, but I wasn't exactly moving them fast. They're heavy. I don't want to carry them all the way. So I just smack those, tack them up on top of each other. And after I get those stumps in place, I want to make a wax canvas cover. Now this wax canvas cover, I want to protect everything. So, I couldn't find where locally to buy wax canvas. So what I did is I decided to make my own. I went to fabric store, bought a big piece of a whole yard of canvas, way more than I needed, and I wanted to make some nice wax. So I decided to break down a bunch of little tea light candles. This took forever, I might mention. It just took going on and on and on. Like, oh my goodness. And I decided to do a 9% paraffin and 10% beeswax. If you're going to do this yourself, I highly recommend using a 50-50 mixture because the mixture ends up being very, very greasy. But I just stuck this whole mixture into a double boiler. And it worked great, actually. I'm very, very pleased of how easily it was able to melt down it. So when I decided to actually do it, I just laid the canvas, had it double layered onto the workbench, and just poured it on there. Took a pie knife and just spread it apart. Now, unfortunately, I noticed it didn't work very well. So I grabbed an old iron. Do not use a new iron on this part. It will ruin an iron. And I just used iron to spread it apart, and it actually worked really, really well. I did see this trick online, I will admit. I stole it from somewhere. And it worked great. Now, I did not melt enough wax to do my whole project, so I had to melt more than what I had. But that's okay. But honestly, I made way more wax canvas than I needed. Like, I have a stack in the garage I'm not using. And I'll also say one more thing. I recommend maybe doing something other than a wood workbench on this because it kind of stuck to the bench. In fact, it was very difficult to get off the workbench at the end. Like, very difficult. But I am very pleased with my results. I will say cleanup was a little difficult, but hey. And after I unfolded my canvas, I did notice that there was a bit of extra paraffin in a couple places. I can't really see the beeswax there, so they'll love it. So I just took the putty knife and just scraped off the little bit of excess. No biggie, just something I had to do. So after that, So after I got my canvas all in order, it looks great. So I'm very pleased. I can do all sorts of stuff with it. I just laid my anvil on top of it and just cut a nice big rectangle or square. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say rectangle, which is probably not square. Around it, just so I can cover it up on the stump. I did take the stumps. I did take some little pieces of wood to wedge it, make it nice and level. And did the same thing with the anvil, just to make sure it wasn't gonna move. And I took those bolts and I bolted it straight into that thing. I don't know how long the lilac bolts were. I don't remember. I bought them like 2 months ago. But this lilac bolt, I just bolted in with an impact driver. I will say the stump was a bit rotted, so I'm not sure this will last forever. But it's also a piece of railroad track, so not too concerned. After I mounted it down, I did take some W40 and spray it on there and wipe off the excess, just to keep it preventing from rusting. I think that's a great idea. Also cheap. So after that, you just lay your wax canvas on top. I took some construction string to wrap it around and tie it off, just because I thought it was easier than putting in grommets and all that kind of stuff. And I'm very, very pleased. It's out of the garage. It's gonna be great for when I actually get my forge built, and for anything I would need in the future. So I hope you all enjoyed this project. I hope you stuck out to all the way to the end screen, all the way to this point. If you did like this video, please give me a like and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.